RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. This is Julian here reporting with no headphones. I don't have headphones on, guys. Actually, I have them right here, but I thought I would show my ears for once. They're very shy, but I thought you guys deserve to see them. This is with headphones, without headphones. So I'm going to do it without headphones today. Can't hear anyone if anyone tries to talk to me, but thought it was fun to just try something different. So anyway, you don't care about that. What do we have going on in the world now? We've got a million legal cases happening. I don't know why this seems to be like crypto legal sentencing time, but we've got Do Kwon trial, right? You guys are following that. We've got Sam Bankman-Fried, who just got sentenced to 25 years in prison, I read. So it's not fun to be him, but I guess live fast, die young or something. At least he didn't die, but he got to live this like crazy billionaire lifestyle for 2 years. And then he just like burned out like a super, just think of it like a massive rocket that just like exploded into the sky. And then now it generally would explode, but he just kind of petered out, and now he's going to sit in a jail cell. Be happy you're not him. And then we also have Coinbase legal battle going on with the SEC, apparently. So 3 different things happening. Now, I could spend the next... I'm actually going to pull up the YouTube, see what you guys are saying. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Hello, Constantine. Hello, Michael. Welcome. I could spend the next 30 minutes pulling up those news articles, and we can talk about it. But the question is, are any of those going to make you money? Is talking about any of those articles going to help you make money? So should we spend time on that, or should we look at stocks? What is happening with the market? And talk about where the S&P could go, where some other companies are going, what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with Dogecoin. Everybody's talking about Dogecoin right now. My vote, personally, is to talk about the stock market and look at ways to actually make money from trading while everyone else can focus on the news nonsense, which is entertaining, but it's not going to make you any money. So that's why I try not to even focus on it. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of my futuristic background, and we're going to go look at what's going on in the market. We'll look at a couple other things a little bit too, but mostly focus on things that are going to make you guys money. All right, so behind me, I have... First, I'm going to shrink myself because there's no reason for me to be this big on your screen. By the way, did you guys notice my shirt? Look at this. You see this shirt? I thought since a lot of things are happening with crypto OGs, I should wear a official crypto OG shirt. This is a like 4-year-old. I haven't worn this shirt in such a long time. It's kind of small for me, but Bitcoin altcoin trading talk. Keep kids off fiat. This shirt is 5 or 6 years old. I just can't throw it away because it has so much sentimental value. So I thought I'd wear it today in celebration of all of the crypto OG things happening right now with the court cases. Okay, let me move myself. Why can I not move myself? Okay, here we go. And shrinking. Okay, a little me down here. Okay, hello. Let me know if I'm too big or I'm too small and you guys want to adjust it, but for now I'll just stay this size. Look at the screen. Hello, screen. Hello, Sam. Hello, Jamie. Welcome. Show's just getting started. Make sure to press that like button. I don't know if it matters, but I know I'm supposed to say it. Is there anything wrong with my screen here? Let me see. Nope, seems good. All right. Let's go here to the news, the other news, the Forex news, the stuff that actually matters. PCE came in, actually didn't even come out yet. We've got core PCE price index on Friday. That's a big thing. What came in today? Pending home sales in the US were up 1.6%, and consumer sentiment was also up. Oh, interesting things that came out. We also had GDP. Oh, GDP came in at 3.4%. Impressive. Okay. Jamie wants me a bit smaller. I'll shrink myself a little bit. All right. Is that better? Small enough? You know, if anybody wants me to go bigger, okay, I'll go a little bit bigger, and we'll have like a voting between, okay, bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller. Hello, Ucha. Hello, Stevo. Welcome, welcome. Unemployment came in basically in line as well. So no big changes there. I'm surprised by this GDP, 3.4%. Oh, and 0.6 here versus a 0.4 forecast. That's a big deal. I didn't even look at the market yet, but I think it's probably rallying if GDP came in this good. Okay, so that's it there. Let's go to investor sentiment survey. 50% bullish still. I kind of have given up hope on this working though. It seems like we're just in this up only rally and everyone's bullish and nobody's bearish, and the market just keeps levitating higher anyway. So I'm not sure how I feel about. We might not continue talking about this metric in the future just because it seems to have lost its usefulness in a way. And when something stops being useful, I stop using it. Reverse repo, I've been watching for a while. You guys know I go through reverse repo every week. It's not really changing. They've kind of, in March, everything's kind of stabilized a bit. And then we've got open interest for expiry to, is it tomorrow? Is April 1st tomorrow? No, 3/28. So 3/28 is the expiry today. You can see we have tons of puts. So they had to take it over 5,200, and 5,250 is kind of max pain. So is that where we are? Huh, how ironic. So we're exactly at 5,250, which is max pain for the market. So don't expect too much movement by the end of today. I'm guessing markets are closed tomorrow because of it's Easter weekend, right? So I'm wondering our markets, maybe that's why I see nothing for tomorrow, and we've got nothing until April 1st. So markets must be closed for Easter. So hopefully everyone has a great Easter holiday. I didn't even think about it. All right, so that's that. I don't expect any kind of big, don't expect any extreme movements today until we get like within an hour of the close. Then you might get something, but otherwise they're probably just going to hit this max pain target right up here. And I wouldn't imagine anything extreme is going to happen. I mean, you can see how the market for the last 24 hours has done nothing. They did a push up yesterday right into this max pain zone, and it's just sitting there. You know, ironically, it's sitting here since the 21st. We haven't done anything really this week. We've just sat in this 5,200 range and done essentially nothing. Let's look at a daily chart. You can see the daily chart continues to just levitate higher. No breakdown at all here. 3-day, we do have a 9 that came in. Weekly, we had a 9 that did cause a pause before. 2 weeks of pause and then back to up only. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Megan, and good to see you. Glad to see some OGs also tuning in. So welcome. Yeah. So I mean, my message is the same as last week. Don't fight this market. It's an uptrend until it's not. I mean, I've been looking at and sharing this weekly chart where I look at the RSI level, and you can see how right now we're at an 80. The last time we were at an 80 was basically here in 2020, so 4 years ago. And the only time we were higher than that was back in 2018. And if you go back in history, you can see back here, if I pull up the SPY, you'll see, I've done it in previous streams where these levels of like up only are if you look at going back 50 years, it's unprecedented. Very, very rarely did this happen until the last kind of 10 years, less than 10 years. That's when it really started to have these kind of extreme highs and lows. And you can also see how the market really only stays on the high side. You only had one really bad RSI pullback, and that got bought up very fast, where the Fed stepped in and started printing money and things like that, right? But the market, as far as being overbought, it can stay overbought for a long time. You can see what happened here back in 2018, right? We stayed overbought. We had a flash crash, basically a flash crash down, and then we rallied one more time to create that divergence, and then we rolled over. Same here, but it was a bit of a faster forming divergence before we eventually rolled over. And then we have here where we don't have any divergence yet. So you should not be considering any kind of extreme shorts, you can be taking profits if you were long. Don't consider any extreme shorts until we see some sort of divergence coming in here. If you want to play it on the safe side, wait for the divergence, then consider hunting those longer term 1 year shorts, things like that. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit sick, so it's harder for me to talk today. I have a very sore throat, but I will do my best. Okay, so that's kind of the S&P. I don't expect much to happen there. Speaking of shorts, though, I had a nice short. My friend was asking me about this company, Celsius Holdings. I recommended a really nice short to him that worked out super well, where it was a 4-to-1 risk-reward ratio trade. So far, it's in decent profits, and the stop should be moved to break even. And we'll see if it eventually gets to the target. I'm looking for a possible bounce. Could consider a re-entry up here and then ride it lower. Why did I like this? Well, there was a major breakdown in the daily, and the 3-day chart was not looking too great. Also, this weekly, you can see this downtrend. It was tagging the top of this trend line, and you had a 7 come in. So that's why I recommended the short on this. And you can see we're at the VIP level along with major support. So we could get a bounce and then consider shorting again on the upside, or take profits on the short and maybe you go long down here because this is major support and it's bounced from this level before in the past where it's retraced to basically my trend heuristic channel, and you've had nice retracements. So just one that I'm looking at, Celsius Holdings, pretty big company that's grown relatively quickly. Just from 2020, it was $1.50 and now it's $80. I mean, that's absurd for what is essentially a beverage company. It just makes some kind of like drinks, some kind of like drinks with like caffeine and other stuff with, oh, it's healthy and it gives you energy, that kind of thing. I don't know if it deserves the valuation that it has right now. Okay, so there's that one. What do I want to look at before I jump into crypto? I mean, I want to look at, this chart is a mess. First, I want to clean this chart up, but I've been watching silver, and I talked about silver last week. Let me actually, how can we clean this up for you guys? This is kind of a mess right now. Let me get rid of that, get rid of this. I think I don't need this giant white box. Well, this giant white box is my eventual target if silver breaks out. I'm going to move it over here. All right, let's do that. So you can see how silver was contained by these two trend lines, this downtrending line and this midpoint line, and we rejected from that level. And also on RSI, we rejected from that level. There were a lot of people getting very bullish about silver and gold last week, especially. I saw a lot of bull posting. So of course, what did silver do? And gold as well, consequently. It pulled back. Silver, I think, did it more so. Now we're running into the other side of this RSI, and we're hitting the bottom end. We're hitting the support level on the RSI and pulling back into support here as well. And we could see a bounce. Until I see a serious breakdown on RSI on the daily chart, I really can't get too bearish on silver. And I'm watching for this potential breakout, because if it does break out, I mean, look at this downtrend line that it's been locked in since. This line goes all the way back to 2020, 2021 and 2020. And this would be a massive breakout if it can break out. And you can see where the target is up here at around $35 an ounce. Solid 46% trade. I think it's overdue considering how much money's been printed. It wouldn't surprise me to see silver break out to the upside eventually. But first we had to have this pullback, and maybe we get a bigger pullback, because let's look at what's going on with the dollar. Speaking of multi-week possible breakouts, look at where we are in the dollar on a weekly chart. Let me just adjust this a little tiny bit. Let's see that. Okay. And that's what we look like on a weekly. Let's go to a 3-day. Maybe that makes it more clear. All right, you can see there on a 3-day, it's just barely getting rejected by that trend line. Trying to push above it and getting rejected. You can see here, even actually on a daily, where I want to look at more of a weekly chart than a daily chart. I think it's more reliable. Whenever you move to a higher time frame, it's more reliable. But you can see on the daily, we are on the other side of this trend line. I'm not taking it too seriously yet. I think it could possibly be a fake out. I don't like this rejection candle. I would have liked to have seen the US dollar push and close up here, 104.7, 105. That would make me feel extremely bullish about the US dollar. But as of right now, there's been no breakout yet, including with the RSI downtrend. So that's what I'm waiting for on the dollar. I'm watching this very closely. I think we're at a critical point with the dollar and then consequently the metals market. If the dollar rejects here, then you could see silver finally break out of that symmetrical triangle here. It's basically a symmetrical triangle, yeah. Consolidation squeeze pattern. It's been squeezing for a while, so it's got to break. And it likely will break to the upside considering all the money printing that's happened. But I'm watching the US dollar to help me gauge that trade and figure out my entry to catch this 46% move in silver, which maybe doesn't seem like a lot to everyone playing crypto, where you're like, oh, well, my Dogecoin went up 5,000% in just the last couple months. Dogecoin is such a boomer one to talk about. Maybe I should talk about what is a new one? I mean, there's like the Book of Meme, the meme coin, right? There was that meme one. Book of Memes. It was Book of Memes. BOM, so BOM or BOM. I mean, Pepe is a new one too. Yeah, Bonk. All of these coins that have gone up 1,000%, 2,000%. It's nothing compared to this, but remember that you could trade silver with a lot of leverage. So this 46% could actually be 4,000%. You just apply some leverage. And that's all it is. And then it's the same, right? What's the difference? Other than, yeah, with the leverage, you could get liquidated, but your meme coin could also go to zero, which is essentially the same as being liquidated, right? What is the difference? Being liquidated just means to go to zero. So, and most of the time meme coins don't really bounce back. So personally, I don't see the difference, and that's why I'm watching something like this very closely. I'm not going to talk about crypto yet, but I do want to. I always talk about the balance sheets. So right now, the major balance sheet that I track is actually trending lower over the last couple days, last 2 weeks. So that's interesting that we're getting. Let me kind of try to line it up a little bit better. Let's line up everything a little bit better here. Okay, so you can see it was kind of like that. And we got this last push up, and now we're getting this like pullback. So a bit of a pullback in the liquidity market. I could even put it like this. Here's that pull up higher. Then we had the pullback, and you see how the market, when we had that pullback, you see how the market paused. Bitcoin and S&P. The S&P kind of continued anyway, and then we got that push back, and then everything accelerated higher, and now we just got another push, and things accelerated a bit more, and now we're getting a pullback. We'll see where this ends up, but it's just something I'm keeping an eye on. I don't know how useful it is. I think it's a bit of a lagging indicator, but I like to look at this to see where are we as far as liquidity. I do think, I think it would have been useful back here when they withdrew tons of liquidity from the system. You can see how it looks like when I bring it below, it looks like it's a leading indicator, and when I put it above, it looks like a lagging indicator. Isn't that funny how that kind of stuff works out? But it's very much so in line, and I think it would be difficult to trade off of this. But I like keeping an eye on it just to see, are things matching up? And so it does look like we've had a bit of a pullback in the liquidity, and the market might have a pause, or at least be slowly running out of steam. I could see that happening, especially if this dollar pushes higher. If the dollar pushes higher, everything's gonna either stop or pull back. They just can't. It just can't continue higher when it's valued in dollars. I think you guys all know that. Quinn said Mike Tyson has a meme coin now. Okay, Quinn. Well, in the after party, let's look at that. Let's look at Mike Tyson's meme coin. Not sure if this fits. INTC, is that Intel? We can maybe look at it quickly, and then I think I'm going to talk about. I'll look at that. All right, so Cotter, we'll look at that and talk about it more in the after party. That's when I kind of prefer to talk about this kind of stuff. Let's look at how much time have I been going? I've been going for 20 minutes. So let's look at Bitcoin and crypto. I want to talk about Dogecoin. I want to talk about SHIB. And maybe just look at the total market cap. So that's like the next 10 minutes, and then we'll jump into the after party. Just drinking a little water because it's a bit hard for me to talk right now. Okay, Bitcoin. Let's switch the S&P chart to Bitcoin. All right. So Bitcoin's sitting right at my other extension target. I've got multiple extension targets. Bitcoin basically followed my path that I drew. Here was my path that I drew back on March 16th, March 15th. We pulled back. We went, my target was 58,000, 59,000. We only got to about 61,000. I always do this. I should take like how much was I off by? What percentage? Well, we can just say like 61 and mine was 59. So I was off by about $2,000. I did the same thing. I hate to admit this, but I did the same thing back here at the lows. You can see this is not the buy zone I'm talking about. I had another buy zone down here at around 12 to 10,000, this area. So I missed my major buy zone by about 2 to 3,000. So every single time I'm off by like 2 to 3,000. I think that we're going to pull back a little bit more than we actually do, and I get front run. Here I was targeting 21, you can see, and we hit 24.9. So that's another $4,000 difference. But this one I'm getting better because this one I was only off by 2,000. Oh, hallelujah for that. Okay, let me adjust some of this. Let's go to a weekly chart, and we'll talk about a few things. I want to look at a different chart than this one. I think this is a little bit cleaner of a chart to look at. Just bear with me, guys, while I adjust a little bit on a few things. Nope, I don't want to do that. Regular scale, 3-day, 2-day. Okay. I'm just checking a few things and lining stuff up before I make any serious comments. Let me flip this, see where 38.2 is. 236, 38.2 is down here at 50,000. And this was my original trend line, which we broke out of. You could see how we retraced and tagged it. Still in major uptrend, right? But if we look at a weekly, again, still in a major uptrend, but we do have an 8 coming in. So be careful with this, because the last couple times this has happened, you did get a pause, at least in price action. So a 9 came in here, we had a 2-week pause. 9 came in here, we had a 3-week pause. So if we have another 9 that comes in, we could get a 2 or 3 week pause that could happen here. So just keep that in mind, that is there. Right now we're still in this uptrend territory, really no breakdown yet. The daily seems like it's trying to reverse and move higher, but at the same time we have that Tom DeMark kind of like saying, nope, stop. You have to wait. You're moving too fast. You have to wait. That's all I kind of see it as. Does it work every single time? No, but it does work most of the time. I'm gonna get rid of this line. I just feel like it's ugly. I actually don't even like my charts with these backgrounds. Do you guys like it with these lines? I feel like it adds extra confusion. But if I go to something like, most of my charts have it actually. Let me see really quick. Settings. Like if I get rid of these crosshair lines. Oh, not that one. Wait a second. Let me adjust this. Can't believe I'm adjusting this on the fly. Scales and lines. Where was it? I adjusted it the other day and I liked it until I started doing this show, and now I'm thinking Yeah, those. You guys think? I think it's more clear without them. Easier for you guys to see, right? I felt like it was like confusing with all the horizontal and vertical lines. Vertical, horizontal. Okay, so we had a bounce from this heuristic trend channel midpoint, and now we're pushing higher. But I don't like that RSI is at such a low level in comparison to the previous high. It makes me uncomfortable, but I just don't see any reason to fight this trend yet. Higher for longer, who knows? If we look at a 4-hour chart, it doesn't look amazing. This is kind of the 4-hour chart, right? Still in an uptrend, but look at the divergence coming in, right? So you've got RSI was here before, now price is at the same level and RSI is lower, so you have a bit of a divergence coming in. Not confirmed, of course, but it's not amazing. So be careful with Bitcoin here. We can look at the total. Sometimes the total gives a better picture. So this is the total, and you can see how it looks very similar to Bitcoin, but RSI looks like crap. Like this would almost be a short for me on a 4-hour chart. We came up, we broke down, we came up, retested the previous high, and now we're getting ready to reverse lower. That's what it looks like on a 4-hour chart. Now, why is that not 100% short signal for me? Why? Why do you guys think I'm not like, okay, short it now? Any thoughts? And no, it's not because of the halvening or whatever. Do we have any chart experts or someone that can read my mind? No one? Really, guys? Really? No idea? Okay. Well, it's because the daily, weekly, and the daily, 3-day, and the weekly charts are all pointing higher. It's clearly in an uptrend, so you have a much lower chance of a short being successful. Better to only hunt longs, because then you're trading with a trend. But if you're hunting shorts, you're fighting the trend. You're trying to swim upstream when the stream's going the other way, and it's just a lot harder. So I don't recommend it. I think you need to be careful here, and we could go either way, but better to use it as like a profit taking zone. The daily just seems fine, like it could just continue higher. No clear view of what's going to happen here, but I'm leaning towards rolling over a bit just because of this RSI breakdown, but it's only one metric. And we do have major, we also are at like somewhat of a major resistance level here. But if we break higher, we could seriously break higher. Like if I look at it, if we do a little chaos here, right? And that's not the type I want. Chaos levels. Right, like that. So chaos would point to 3.1 trillion, which is how much of an increase? 20% increase. So for Bitcoin, a 20% increase from the current 71K price would be, hold on, times 1.2, about 85K increase in Bitcoin. So that's kind of where this is targeting if it potentially breaks out. Just do something like this, boom, and then like that eventually, and tag it. Maybe we'll play in this area first before tagging it, and then we tag it. So that's something you could see happen if we break out on the other side of this. Something to keep in mind. Maybe it's easier if I show it. Let me see something. Maybe it's easier to show it on Bitcoin really quick, just to kind of really emphasize my point. It's not as clean, like I said. But if we do break on the other side of this and hold above it, then we will go to and this is a conservative estimate. Keep that in mind, conservative. Yeah, around 85, 87, something like this. If you can push up, might tag here, come back, do something like that, and then just go right like that. And that's what I'm kind of expecting, but we have to close over this 72K area and sit up here, and then we can launch higher. Until then, look for a potential reversal lower down to this trend heuristic channel point. 65K is the major support. So there's your support. There's your target if we close above this 72K area. There you go. That's my viewpoint on Bitcoin. I wanted to touch base. So we're at 30 minutes. I'm going to look at Doge. So Doge took off here, but it is hitting a 9 on the daily. Everyone's talking about this, but it's hitting a 9 on the daily, unfortunately, which I don't like. So this is not a buy for me. But if you did buy down here at 13.13 or you down here at 8, I would consider using this as an area to take some profits, because there is a likelihood that this could be the pullback area, especially if Bitcoin starts to break down and pull back, like I pointed out. So I wanted to talk about that one. SHIB also, people were talking about SHIB could be the next one that people might jump onto, and it hasn't really taken off that hard yet. So something to keep an eye on. I'm not saying buy this, but it doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look amazing, but it doesn't look terrible. And it's something I've heard a lot of people talking about as not a lot of people, but a couple select people in a few communities, not like random crypto Twitter stuff, as this could be a decent play, considering the current Doge narrative. Isn't this many div indicator lagging? Well, even if it shows a 9 now, by the end of the day, if it reverses and you get a pullback, then you still had an 8 before, and that is still in itself a topping signal. It's not like you have to have the 9. You could have an 8, and then that's it. Shola, no confirmation on longer time frames. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maybe we can talk about it in the after party. All right, so guys, we're at about over 30 minutes. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to do the after party. And there I will answer and talk about any coin that you guys want to talk about. Any coin, any stock. We'll go through the whole thing. We'll look at every single time frame, and I will go into detail on exactly what I would do for any crypto or stock that you guys want to talk about. We can also talk about news if you want to talk about Do Kwon or SBF something, or Coinbase. We can talk about whatever you guys want. If you're not part of TRI, consider signing up for a free trial and joining. And you can also ask any question you would like. Amazing ability, amazing access for free, basically, to me. Okay, thank you guys, and I will see you in 5 minutes. All right, bye everybody. Everybody in the public.